No English accents were harmed in the making of this podcast. From Rochester, New York, the home of several people who could try an accent but could probably fail miserably, this is FC3 Monkey Business, your one-stop shop for everything geeky. And you know what, friends? Everything can be geeky if you love it enough. Starring Tanya Metris, starring Daniel Carmen, starring Billy DeTore, and starring
Christopher Frank.
Robin of Loxley? No, that's not. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's me. I'm your host. That's hello. Hi, guys.
Hey, yo.
What's
Hello,
that?
Christopher.
Little John?
I don't think anybody's ever called me that. But. So yes, we are here. Hello, Billy. Hello. How are you today, sir?
I'm wonderful, Christopher. Is this my English accent? No, it's terrible.
Oh, it sounds like you were trying to be in Spinal Tap.
I wouldn't mind being in Spinal Tap.
That's one I haven't seen.
It's one better than 10.
This one goes to 11. Yeah, I would love to tackle like the Second City Gang, and you do Mighty Wind, Spinal Tap, stuff like that, from Christopher Guest and those guys. But knowing Tanya's quote-unquote love for Monty Python and her love for most Mel Brooks movies, and knowing that basically this is kind of like right up that particular alley, I'm like, have I set myself up for abuse enough at this point? The answer would probably be yes. I think so. We'll back off.
I think those movies, the Christopher Guest movies, are different in a way. They're
That's
more
true.
Plot-driven. They're more based on reality than like puns and like Mel Brooks movies. I was thinking about these in general, and they're sort of Jewish Monty Python or Jewish airplane movies.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Based on puns and sight gags, as opposed to the Christopher Guest movies, which are almost parodies of reality television.
Mm-hmm.
So, just my thought.
Which makes sense. It really does. It's a good observation. I don't know. Maybe we will circle around on that someday. But you know what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to sit down with Tanya and we'll watch Spinal Tap together without the purpose of having to get ready for a podcast, so she doesn't feel like any pressure. She can just watch it and we'll see what happens.
Well, thanks.
See if she survives.
It's essentially, Ton. It's essentially a documentary.
Go, great.
But it's about a fiction.
I forgot that those are documentary. I forgot about
that
part.
They're all mockumentaries, right? So they're scripted, and they're about fake groups of people. They're made up. They're characters that are made up for the movie. But you look at them through the lens of a documentary, and it's to me it's hilarious.
Me too. I love those movies, and one they're tackling community theater, the other the folk festival circuit, the other the dog show circuit. But I forgot about Tanya's love of documentaries and how she may not take kindly to them being mocked.
That's okay. Chris just got a picture of what my face would look like for that idea for the movies. Since we're not in the same room right now and he can't see my face, I decided that I would send him a picture.
There's great skepticism in her countenance these days, my friends. Great skepticism.
I don't quite think so.
You never know. Got to open yourself up to these things,
Right.
Really?
We're trying new and different things and bringing.
I've tried a lot of new and different things. I've tried a lot of new and different things.
Yes, and most of them she can't speak about in public. Anyway.
That's funnier than anything in the movie I just
watched. And we're completely off the rails now.
Oh, please, we were never on them to begin with.
I was going to say, what are these rails you're talking about?
I know.
Is that part of the thing?
There weren't a set of guidelines.
All right. So my next question would be to see how Dan and Billy are doing, because I haven't talked to them in a while, but I know that we've been kind of really spending a lot of off the beaten path moments in these intros lately. So what we're going to do is get right to business, and then we can kind of tangent as we go, because that's what when we're at our best. So with that being said, today, as we mentioned recently that today is we're going to finish off a trilogy of Mel Brooks movies. We have done Spaceballs, we have done History of the World Part 1, and today we're going to look up at the pure, unadulterated send-up of Kevin Costner's Prince of Thieves with a look at Mel Brooks's Robin Hood Men in Tights. So get ready, and if you haven't watched the movie in a while, or if you don't remember it, now would be a great time to pause the podcast, wander off, take it in. You can find it on Amazon Prime. You can find it in your DVD shelf if you're one of us, in like folks who would do that sort of thing.
It's free on Tubi.
Yep,
It's free on Tubi. Was it TUBI, right?
Yes, that's how I watched it.
Yep,
Yes,
and take it in, get a chance to look it through, and then we will come back and talk about it. So we're going to take a quick break, and during that quick break, you're going to watch the movie.
Actually, it was really fast.
Hour
The movie itself?
45.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
It was an average length Mel Brooks movie. I think maybe a little bit longer than History of the World, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But I think it's paced better than some of the
Yes.
other movies that he's done, and that I think we'll touch on that, because I know Tanya, just before we started recording, you're like, I liked this one. I'm like, okay, cool. So that's a hint in the right direction to go.
And
with the
all of our
conversation.
listeners just fell off of their chairs.
Wait, she liked this one? Oh my god! And there was much rejoicing. Yay!
Yay.
You know what? That's funny because I use that phrase a lot. There was much rejoicing.
Yes, which comes from Monty Python.
Which is kind of funny.
And I use it at work all the time. And my coworker Anita's like, "What do you say? Much glorious? Much?" I'm like, "No, much rejoicing."
Yay.
She's like, "Oh, okay." I just didn't know where I got it from.
Now you do, and knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe.
Which
Oh
may
wait,
be one
wrong
of our future.
podcast.
No, it's going to be one of our future movies. We're talking about G.I. Joe movies soon. Anyway,
Not today.
not
Okay,
today
we're
though.
gonna break.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're men. We're men in tights. Tights. All right, we'll be right back. From the makers of Spoilers, we bring you Flower City Comic-Con at the Total Sports Experience at Gates, September 25th and 26th of 2021. Bring your friends, bring your family, bring your cosplay, and bring your Spoilers. Okay, we just created a commercial from a commercial. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that works. Robin Hood Men in Tights is a 1993 American musical adventure comedy film and a parody of the Robin Hood story. The film was produced and directed by Mel Brooks, co-written by Brooks, Evan Chandler, and J. David Shapiro, based on the story by Chandler and Shapiro together. No, they were not roommates on Friends. And starred Cary Elwes, Richard Lewis, David Chappelle in his film debut, by the way, Robert Reese, Tracy Ullman, and several other notable figures. It includes frequent comedic references to previous Robin Hood films, particularly the Kevin Costner film Prince of Thieves, upon which the plot of this movie is loosely structured. Disney's Robin Hood and 1938 Errol Flynn adaptations are also featured in The Adventures of Robin Hood. This film also features Brooks in a minor role, the first time he had appeared in one of his own films in which he does not receive top billing or play the lead role since Young Frankenstein. In addition to Brooks, it features cameos from Brooks regulars Dom DeLuise, Dick Van Patten, and Rudy DeLuca. So what we got here, and this is my opinion, obviously, is it is, like it mentions in the write-up, almost a complete direct one-for-one rip of Kevin Costner's movie that had come out a couple years early, Prince of Thieves. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, the plot flows, the scene kind of goes through, and then there are, along the way, he does lace in, the archery contest from Disney and a lot of references to, not so much direct references to Errol Flynn's Robin Hood, but I think it's all in Cary Elwes's fighting style. He channels Errol Flynn when he's in his sword fights, in his mannerisms and the way he poses and things like that. So I think it's not so much direct reference to the movie, but more of how Errol Flynn, the great, he was the Arnold Schwarzenegger of the 20s and 30s. He was your action hero, right? And so I think that's really what Cary Elwes did the best, was kind of channel that inner Errol Flynn. But at the same time, for us diehard movie lovers, Cary Elwes was definitely mixing between Errol Flynn's Robin Hood and Wesley from Princess Bride. I saw a lot of Wesley. in a lot of that. So I thought that was a lot of fun to see that.
Did Errol Flynn smile a lot? Because he was.
Oh God, yeah, he was always having fun.
Okay, so that's where the smile came from.
Exactly.
Okay.
The bearing, the pose where he's putting the hand on the hips and standing there like, aha, that was very Errol Flynn.
So that's all. That's where the Errol Flynn comes in. Okay.
Yes,
I don't know if I've ever seen the Errol Flynn one, so that's why.
You know what? I did, but it was when I was in a film class in college, so that was more than a half a lifetime ago.
Right.
Long time ago. Big galaxy far, far away kind of a thing.
Yes.
But so Tanya,
Yes,
you liked this one.
I did like this one.
What made it so much more appealing than some of the other silly movies we've watched as of late?
Probably because it definitely had that parody to the other Robin Hoods, and I do like the storyline of Robin Hood.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's probably what I did like. Whereas I'm not a big history fan, so the History of the World Part 1, So no, and I want to say I actually saw this in theaters.
Yep.
So
I think most of us did. Did you do really, Billy?
Yes, I did. I saw it back in '93. There
we go.
So,
what'd you think of it, Bill?
I'm not a huge fan of it. I remember liking it back then. I don't think this movie aged particularly well.
Well, most of Mel Brooks' movies haven't, to be honest.
Yeah, but it's funny. I still like the producers. I still like Young Frankenstein. Mm-hmm. Although, to be honest with you, I haven't seen those in a long time either. So who knows? And I like older movies in general. I like movies that date back to I like the original Errol Flynn type movies. Mm-hmm. I think somewhere along the way, my tolerance of puns and that type of thing just don't make me laugh as much anymore.
Why do you hang out with Dan?
I know. I mean, I'm a very punny guy.
That's like 80% of Dan's humor is puns.
Yeah, no kidding. And Dan jokes.
Yeah, but with you guys, it's unexpected. When I go into, I think now when I go into a Mel Brooks movie, or no, in particular, the last few that have been on the Monkey Business docket, they're that you know what you're going to get. They are very broad,
right?
And I know that going in. And sometimes I do like a little subtlety, despite my my love of the Three Stooges and professional wrestling and things like that. But
you got to take a break from all of that over the top stuff.
But I did like this movie because I do like the Robin Hood story, and I like most of the cast. I like Cary Elwes. I like Mark Blankenfield, who I knew from the TV show Fridays, which was the Saturday Night Live ripoff. Back in the 80s. I knew him from that, and people like Tracy Ullman and Richard Lewis. I mean, I met Richard Lewis a few years ago when he was in town to do a comedy show, and I've always liked Richard Lewis. So, and
what's he like in person? Is he like subtle and kind of quiet in person, or is he just the same as ever?
Well, he turned it on for the radio, but off the air, he's just a fun person to chat with. He was fun to talk to, and he had stories. So, and I thought he was a nice guy. So, I like the cast. Just sometimes you don't have to hit people over the head with jokes. We'll get to it, but there's a joke right at the very end of this movie that would have been funnier if the tagline didn't show up. I'll at the end when they reference the black sheriff,
right?
And Dave Chappelle goes, "It worked in Blazing Saddles." You didn't have to say that. It was funnier without you saying that.
Yeah. It was almost like they had to justify the joke.
Yeah, or explain it to people, but don't explain it.
What was the last movie that Mel Brooks has put out so far? Because it's been a while since there was like a Mel Brooks movie.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
And I'm almost wondering if this was like one of his last ones.
This was one of his last ones, if not the last. There may have been.
Hold on. Mel Brooks movies.
They remade The Producers a few years ago.
Yeah, but was that he's already written that, so that's...
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily count film out.
It wasn't new. It was...
Oh, come on.
Let's see, filmography.
He's been in stuff, but was this
Dracula Dead and Loving It was his last one.
Yeah, 95. Okay.
2 years after Robin Hood Men in Tights was
So
his
it was
second
one of his
one.
last ones.
Yeah, it was.
And he's just appeared in other movies since then.
Yeah, he's been like a voice.
He did a voice in Toy Story 4.
He was in Robots too. I remember that one, the Ewan McGregor animated one, where he played Big Weld.
Mm-hmm.
What am I, an old kind of like?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right, so that kind of, I'm wondering if there are some tropes here because he was kind of running out of ideas. Maybe, I don't know.
It's still a fun movie. Like I said, I just watched it. Susan laughed a few times, which I didn't think she would. And so it's still an enjoyable movie. It's not like I'm gonna beat it up. And I like Robin Hood. I like the Disney Robin Hood. I even like the Kevin Costner Robin Hood. So.
Yeah. And that's one of the things I was thinking about while I was watching this movie is that I really do want to see the Kevin Costner Robin Hood movie again because it's been a while since I've seen it, and I remember enjoying the hell out of that when it came out.
Mm-hmm. Despite Bryan Adams.
Despite Bryan Adams. Yeah. Despite Kevin Costner's accent, which they take a quick shot at.
Oh my god!
Yes,
the Robin Hood
joke.
Well, unlike other Robin Hoods, I can speak with an English accent. Ooh. So it starts with, the scene where, like I said, it patterns itself right after Kevin Costner's Prince of Thieves, which takes the time to try and give the Robin character more of a history. He just doesn't appear in the tights, and he's off and running across the countryside, stealing from the rich and giving to the poor and stuff like that. There is a whole backstory which almost does a pretty good, and sorry, Tanya, historical job of giving the character depth and part of the lore. That he was a young nobleman who went off to fight in the Crusades with King Richard III, and he got captured, but yada yada yada. So that's the Kevin Costner premise. It's mirrored here, coming full circle into the Robin Hood Men in Tights, where you find Robin Hood, in prison during having been captured during the Crusades, and it's just silly Mel Brooks humor right off the bat, where he's a sneeze. I am a sneeze, father of a chew. Bless you. No. So which becomes one of the running gags throughout the thing. Basically, the homage to Morgan Freeman's character in the Prince of Thieves movie.
The one thing I forgot was that Dave Chappelle was in the movie because, like you said, it was his first screen performance. So it was before he became the biggest comedy star on the planet.
Right.
So when I saw it in 1993, I didn't know who he was, and I forgot he was in it till the credits popped up. Dave Chappelle. Huh? No kidding.
Yeah.
I wonder what part he played. Oh, wait.
The second lead.
Yeah. And he was good in it. I mean, he was very natural. So he has that very Dave Chappelle delivery of like, I'm just gonna throw it out there and see what happens, and if you don't like it, tough. I don't care. He's got that kind of very easygoing flow to it. But his timing is insane. His ability to just drop right into a scene or right into a moment and have the right thing to say or have deliver the right line. That's why this kid is genius.
When Robin met Little John at the bridge.
Yeah.
For the bridge. I'm on this side. I'm on this side.
Yeah. He's like, why are you doing this?
That was a funny scene. I mean, come on. And Little John falls into the water.
Just cross.
Got them breaking the steps.
That was good.
Yeah. The staff keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller until they're just doing little slap fights.
And then Little John falls into the water. I'm drowning.
And then the gig was up at that point because everybody's like, wait, come on.
You saved my life, Robin. Oh, come on.
And I think more than I mean, there are several times in Mel Brooks movies where the actor will break the fourth wall, look directly at the audience, and share a joke, share a punchline.
Mm-hmm.
It really felt like they were doing it more than ever before in this one. Like everybody was getting a shot at breaking the fourth wall somewhere along the line, where they would just look at the audience and share a nod or make a comment to the audience directly. There was just a lot of that going on. I don't know if you guys noticed it as much as I did.
Oh yeah, I mean it was definitely it's definitely a pun movie. I mean it wasn't serious in any way.
And actually, just as much as this was a take on the Kevin Costner Robin Hood, I think it was just as much a takeoff on the Daffy Duck cartoon Robin Hood Daffy.
Really?
You remember the one where Daffy Duck was Robin Hood and Porky Pig was Friar Tuck?
I vaguely remember
that. It's one of my favorite cartoons. And so many scenes, including the staff fighting scene, reminded me of that. And I do think that they referenced it in the movie because at one point, Daffy's trying to memorize the moves, and he goes, guard, turn, parry, dodge, spin.
Yep.
And they did
that. And that final fight scene with the sheriff?
Uh-huh.
I got it. I did not pick up on that. I thought he was coaching. I thought he was coaching the sheriff because he was standing there so casually in that little alcove, just going through, his moves as quickly as possible and like teaching. It was almost like he was teaching the sheriff how to try and beat him. Mm-hmm. That was the impression I was getting, at least. Because when he's done, he's like, good, much. He's like cheering him on almost.
I think they just paid a little tribute to Looney Tunes version.
Possibly,
as well.
Fantastic. That's a great observation there.
I could see that, yeah.
I'm looking to see if it's in the trivia. I'll let you know.
Very good, very good.
Right. So, yeah. The castle getting repossessed in the beginning, that was good.
The castle being repossessed in the beginning.
Now I'm trying Blinken. I know all the classic Robin Hood characters, Little John and Will Scarlet, but was Blinken a version of Blinken a recurrent character in the Robin Hood mythos? That
not really. No, I think what he was because what happens is in the Kevin Costner movie when he does get home. There was the house steward, and I can't remember the character's name from that particular movie, but he had been blinded in the sheriff's raid that killed Robin's father and ruined the castle. Okay. So here's this old blind hermit basically tending to the ruins of this family home.
Oh, I did remember that. Okay.
And so I think Blinken was basically just a parody of that particular character.
Okay.
For some obvious, pardon the pun, sorry, for some obvious sight gags, because the references is throughout when he's getting into the fights and he carves up that wooden pillar in the,
yep.
The Playboy in Braille, that he's holding in when he's first introduced, stuff like that.
In the bathroom after the castle gets repossessed, yes.
Right. I thought it got a bit drafty here.
And his name is Blinken and he can't see.
Right. And there's that scene about 3/4 of the way through when they're in the woods and Maid Marian comes to see Robin and he comes down off of the guard post and he falls. And the concussion of the fall knocks his sight back. He's like, oh my God, I can see. And then he turns and slams into the tree. Nope, never mind.
Yep.
Tanya, you did mention why you like this movie more than the other Mel Brooks movies because you like Robin Hood. Did you find it funny? Did you find the movie funny? Or
I did find it funny. The Everlast chastity belt and the lady in waiting is like, oh, it'll rust. You'll have to get out of the bath. It'll rust.
Oh, I saw the same relationship that I saw in Spaceballs with Vespa and Dot Matrix.
Yes.
You had the guardian lady in waiting kind of thing, the protector of the virginity. So it was like, oh, he's doing that trope again. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was definitely similar there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the nod to Looney Tunes on this whatsoever.
I was probably just my own brain,
that's
wanting to see something.
Yeah, and that's a valid observation though, because until you mentioned it, I didn't even pick up on that. I know I've got my opinion of how that was supposed to be presented, but I was like, oh yeah, now that Billy mentions it. oh, by the way, listener, yes, I'm talking to you. If you haven't seen the movie, there might be spoilers here.
Spoilers.
Just saying. A new fragrance by the Mighty Monkey Corporation. Smell like a spoiler. Anyway, okay. I realized that 20 minutes in.
Yeah, a little late, but
might be a little late on that one. But you know what? Hey, better late than
never. From
'93
though, so it's a little late for spoilers.
That's all right.
It's 28 years ago. Come on, wow, 28 years ago. That's crazy.
I know.
Isn't it crazy?
Who said that?
Hey, Tanya.
Hey, Christopher.
If I have my bearing of how we do this correctly, you right now are on the IMDb page for trivia. Am I correct?
Yes.
Why don't you hit us with a couple of pieces so we can learn a little bit about behind the scenes?
Okay. Throughout the movie, a mole on the face of Prince John changes position.
Yes.
It starts on his left cheek, then it goes to his chin, his lip, his right cheek, and finally his forehead. This lampoons the mole on Alan Rickman's face in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. It's also a nod to the famous Igor's hump gag from Young Frankenstein.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's pointed out to him at one point, Robert Reed says to Richard Lewis about
like,
Richard Lewis I have a
mole. Yeah, that was another piece later on. None of the actors or actresses sang their own parts. Sorry. All of the singing was done by professional singers.
Yeah, that wasn't too obvious.
No, I couldn't
Deborah
tell.
James Chang and Arthur Rubin did the singing for Amy Yasbeck and Carrie Ells.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
One recommendation, when I was a kid, there was a sitcom called When Things Were Rotten. It was a Robin Hood parody. Dick Gautier played Robin Hood. Dick Van Patten played Friar Tuck. If I'm not mistaken, Mel Brooks was one of the creators of that.
Yes,
it says it. Yeah,
this wasn't the first Mel Brooks Robin Hood parody. His previous attempt was a short-lived television series, When Things Were Rotten.
I really liked that when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Dick Van Patten, who plays Abbott in this film, played Friar Tuck in the series.
Hey, Abbott! I hate that guy.
That's a good joke.
Yeah. Oh, let's see.
It's this wonderful rolling thing, and I think it was interesting. I don't know if you said it while we were recording in the early minutes or just before we got recording, but Tanya's like, this one was really quick, and I looked it up, and the length of it is on par with Spaceballs and with History of the World Part 1 and stuff like that, and other movies of its time. It's an hour and 44, right? But I think as we talked about it, it's the pacing of it. It goes right. Mm-hmm. It's always something going on. There's a smooth transition instead of vignette to vignette, like in History of the World Part 1, that could be a little distracting at times. This was the story flowed through and it got from point A to point B fairly effectively.
Mm-hmm.
Am I wrong in that one? Did anybody disagree? Agree?
No, I mean it was flow. It was a quick story. There wasn't a lot of extra stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't. Did he ever steal from the rich, give to the poor in the movie?
I think that was the basic outline where, in the speech towards the beginning, it went into you wanted free health care and
but he talks about it. But it's all about getting. But it's all about.
He never robs a rich guy.
Yeah.
No. And it was interesting. Carrie Elwes's Robin Hood had this propensity for the windy speeches.
Mm-hmm.
Just getting into and being over the top about, he'd start pledging himself to people, and then he would start getting into the speech, and he'd channel his inner Winston Churchill, and they played on that a lot, where Robin would just start diving into speeches.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Let's see what else.
How about another piece of trivia?
Oh, I was looking. When the newly recruited merry men are getting outfitted with clothing and weapons, their tights are seen being taken out of giant plastic eggs.
Right.
This is in reference to when legs pantyhose used to be sold in the plastic eggs packages.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it said that Hulk Hogan was initially offered the part of Little John, but he turned it down.
Oh, jeez.
Hmm.
That would have been. He might have been a little too over at the top for it.
Yeah, I don't think that would have sold for me, to be honest.
Yeah, he would have been too. I don't know. I don't know if he could tone. I don't know if he could tone himself down. He could have toned.
Well, I've seen him in interviews where Hulk Hogan becomes Terry Bollea once again, and you can kind of see him just kind of chilling and sitting there. But it happens on such a rare occasion when he's on film. He's Hulk Hogan, and he's just full throttle. And I don't know if that would have done that character. I mean, not like that was. Not it was an Oscar-worthy performance from Little John, but still, there are times where he has to be second and third to Carrie Elwes' Robin.
Could you see Hulk Hogan being in that little tiny river and I'm drowning?
If you remade the movie today, The Rock could do it.
Oh, The Rock, yes. The Rock is amazing. I mean,
absolutely. With Kevin Hart as a Chew.
Yes, I was just
Kevin Hart as a Chew, and then you just watch the two of them. Just you don't even have to script the two of them. Just let them go.
Oh, jeez.
All right. Let's play this one out then. Who would take over for Carrie Elwes' Robin Hood in a Mel Brooks a remake of Mel Brooks' Robin Hood Men in Tights
with The Rock and
Kevin Hart, as Little John and the Chew. I would almost have to say you're looking at probably Zac Efron.
Not bad.
Yeah, because the kid's proved he's got chops. The kid has proved on a couple of places where he actually knows how to play funny and serious. He can do it. He can go straight, but he can also be, over the top at the same time. I've seen it. We watched this kid grow up. I think it would probably be a thing, he would not fit.
With Tom Holland, he's British.
Tom Holland would be good too. Tom Holland would be a good one. But he's, I don't know.
He's a little too young still.
No. I don't think it's a youth factor. I think it's. Well, yeah, because Tom is very much, quote unquote, your average teenager kind of.
He's still a little young. I think he's got the potential, but I think for that particular part, he's still a little young.
To go with another Avenger, Chris Hemsworth.
For Little John.
Yeah. Let's see, Robin. Zac Efron might be the guy. Finn Wolfhard.
Oh, Finn Wolfhard might be a good one. Yeah. Tim, who's the one who's going to be coming out in Dune?
Oh, Timothée Chalamet?
Yeah, Tim Chalamet. That might be a good one. But he, again, like Tom, that's the Tom Holland effect. He might be a little kind of young-ish for that kind of a thing just yet.
Let's see.
And then, we have Prince of Thieves has the great cameo from Sean Connery at the end. Robin Hood, Men in Tights has Patrick Stewart doing a send-up of that at the end. So for a remake of Mel Brooks' Robin Hood, Men in Tights, you'd have to have Kevin Costner be the...
King Richard.
A great call.
Coming back as King Richard. And he would just be standing there going, huh, this looks familiar.
Or Patrick Stewart again.
Yeah, that's possible. That would work. Or Mel Brooks himself.
Yeah.
That would be funny. So, but there's a tangent for you. Give me another piece of trivia, something to talk about. Let's give him something to talk about. Dun, dun, dun.
Really?
What?
When Mel Brooks first called Carrie Elwes to offer him the lead role, Elwes thought it was a prank and hung up on him.
That's so. I've heard so many stories like that over the years, where people would get called from famous people to like say, actors would get these calls like, "Hey, we want you to be in this movie." You're like, "Yeah, right. Who is this?" No, it really is. Wait, what?
Part where a Chew pumps up his sneakers during a fight.
Oh, that was hysterical.
Because Dave happened to be wearing shoes on set along with his costume, but Mel Brooks decided to make a joke out of it, so he kept. There you go.
And that's something. I mean, that shows the genius. And we've talked about this in the past with Spaceballs and with History of the World, that he's just so quick of finding things, and just making something on the spot and going with it and rolling it and making it happen. And it's part of his charm. Well, I see a lot of people doing that, but Mel Brooks was especially good at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When the sheriff is impaled by Robin's sword, Latrine offers to save his life with a magic pill. That pill is, in fact, a lifesaver's mint.
Yes.
It was a peppermint lifesaver.
Peppermint lifesaver.
Mm-hmm.
Tracy Ullman was inspired. That woman's amazing.
And I think I read somewhere that Madeline Kahn was originally going to be offered the role. Which
You would figure that because she was a standard in Mel Brooks's retinue of folks there.
Yeah.
But wasn't she already? She was sick at that point, I believe, Madeline.
Probably.
Because I think she passed away a couple of years after it was made. Madeline Kahn.
Because she was in Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein. And
she passed away in '99, so it was a couple of years. It was 6 years after Men in Tights. But I gotta wonder if that was who he had in mind when he created that character. But hey, quote unquote, settling for Tracy Ullman is never a bad thing.
No. How about the Fox?
Fox were they Fox? I'm going to Fox them, which is such a short-term joke when you think about it, because faxing was a big thing in the '90s. But now you say, "I'm going to fax that to him," and you're like, "What?"
Huh? What's a fax? Yeah.
It's been so super. It doesn't matter. What's kind of funny? There is a fax machine at City Hall.
Well, I'm sure doctor's offices still have fax machines.
That blows me away. And I'm like, "Oh, we'll fax it to you." Like, what? People still do that?
Our copier still is a fax machine at work.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It costs them so little to add that in there, and then if people happen to want it, but most of them don't even have landlines, so
right.
Mine could be a fax too, but I'm missing a landline.
Hey, I'm looking at my printer. It's a print, fax, scan, copy, and web, so I could do it. But I actually do have a landline, but it's not necessarily connected up to this.
Say it ain't so.
I know.
You have a landline?
We do. And it's just a whole nother podcast.
Sean Connery wanted to reprise his role as King Richard.
Did he really?
But in drag.
Oh my god!
Mel Brooks thought it was funny too, but turned it down due to his salary.
Well, going back to the gag about Robin being able to speak with an English accent, of course, the viewers who saw both movies in dubbed version wouldn't get this gag or couldn't get this gag. For the German dubbed version, the gag was changed to, because I, unlike some other Robin Hoods, do not cost the producers $5 million.
Oh,
so
nice.
The word cost is also pronounced to sound a little bit like Costner.
That's
in
funny.
The French and the Italian dubbed versions, it is translated as, because unlike other Robin Hoods, I do not dance with the wolves, referring to the Dances with Wolves movie.
Wow, that's a big joke.
Other people are taking direct shots at Costner as well.
In Quebec, the translation, because unlike other Robin Hoods, I accept to wear tights, which refers to the fact that Costner didn't wear tights in the 1991 movie.
Right, because it had that pretty realistic aspect.
Yeah, in the Hungarian version, he says, because unlike Kevin Costner, I have a shapely bottom, a reference to the infamous fact that Costner used a body double in the nude scene.
That's funny.
Wow, they sure had a lot of fun with the translations there, didn't they?
Man, they whooped on him.
Poor guy.
I know, seriously. Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Now, according to 80skid.com, Cary Elwes was first offered the role in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves before Costner.
Really?
But he turned it down because he didn't want to be typecast as like a swashbuckler type of hero after Princess Bride.
Uh-huh. But then showed up in Robin Hood Men in Tights.
The parody, yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, Costner didn't get it until after Mel Gibson turned it down.
Wow. Mel Gibson.
Mm-hmm.
There's an interesting concept. I think one of these days we're going to have to not a book club Prince of Thieves just to give me a reason to watch it again, because now I'm getting the itch. And here's the thing. This is all this steep slope for a person who had my addiction of what I did in the 1990s, where Prince of Robin Hood Men in Tights leads to me wanting to watch Robin Hood Prince of Thieves, which will lead me to want to watch Princess Bride again, which will lead me to watch Excalibur again, which will lead me to start going back online and starting to find all my garb so I can go to the Renaissance Festival.
See, which made me want to watch the Daffy Duck cartoon. Which made
there you go. See, we go in different directions. Perfectly acceptable.
I want to watch the Mel Brooks sitcom again. When things were rotten. And the Disney card. Actually, when I first got Disney Plus, one of the first things I watched was the Robin Hood cartoon with the fox and the bear, and that was one of my first go-tos.
Okay. Yeah. That's a thing. Wow.
Huh.
That's funny.
Now, the woman that played Maid Marian, was she well known for anything else?
Amy Yasbeck? Yeah, she was. She was in Wings, wasn't she? The sitcom.
Wings. Yep. Yes.
And I've seen her in several other things.
I knew
she was married to John Ritter. Why? She married to John Ritter until he died.
Oh, right. I remember that.
She was in Pretty
Little Liars. She was
Pretty Woman.
Let's see, Amy, yes.
As Elizabeth.
She was Meg in Little Women, Big Cars. It was a TV series or a movie.
A lot of TV shows, at least on cameos, anyways. One episode.
Oh, she was also the female lead in Mel Brooks' last movie, Dracula, Dead and Loving It.
And The Mask.
Okay. The Jim Carrey movie?
Mm-hmm.
When did that come out?
Oh, that was a while.
Oh, 94. Okay.
Yeah.
I see it.
Okay.
Yeah, small parts. Like she was on Quantum Leap for an episode.
I love Quantum Leap.
Magnum PI.
Yeah, okay. I'm looking at her. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she did a lot of episodic television.
Days of Our Lives.
That's where I saw her. No, not just kidding.
That's where I would have seen her. That's what I'm like. I watched Days of Our Lives.
I never saw it in my life.
Yeah, Pretty Woman. She was Elizabeth Stuckey.
Let's see. Cosby Show.
What else was she in?
I definitely didn't know her from Splash 2 because I didn't know there was a Splash 2.
It was one of those ones that shouldn't have been made.
Yeah. Because they cleverly spelled 2 T-O-O.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Elizabeth Stuckey was the wife of Jason Alexander in Pretty Woman. So when they were at the polo competition or whatever.
Yep. Okay. So a small role.
Yeah.
Okay, wrongful. Let's see. Wrongful death lawsuit. After her husband John Ritter died, Yasbeck filed a $67 million wrongful death lawsuit against the hospital and several doctors who treated him, alleging they misdiagnosed his condition that contributed to his death. Several of the defendants settled out of court for a total of $14 million.
Wow.
So, Amy Yasbeck. But I thought she was good as Maid Marian.
Oh yeah, I mean she brought the rhythm to that part, so it worked out well.
Mm-hmm. Actually, did you ever see Robin and Marian with Sean Connery?
Oh God, yeah, I do remember that one. It was such a long time ago, though.
But I remember that one.
Who played Marian in that?
That's what I'm just looking up. I remember Sean Connery, Audrey Hepburn.
Oh wow!
Wow, there's a cast for you.
1976.
Robin Hood, aging none too gracefully, returns exhausted from the Crusades to woo and win Maid Marian one last time.
I was trying to figure out the actress that played the Broomhild, the protective one. Megan Kavanagh. Yeah, I'm like looking at her. I'm like, where the hell else do I know her from? A League of Her Own. Yep, I just popped over to it, and it was in Dracula Dead and Loving It. Miss Congeniality 2. The Voice and Jimmy Neutron. What else?
All right. So,
what was our favorite part of this particular movie, Dan?
It's hard to pick out one part. I mean, it flowed well, and I enjoyed most of it. And there was very few parts that I was like, "Oh, just move on."
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like it wasn't the best show of all time, but it was definitely it still got a lot of laughs for me.
It was consistent.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Tanya.
I think I liked the part that made me laugh is when all the is it this one where all the soldiers are falling down?
Oh yeah.
When
like the domino effect.
Domino effect.
Yeah.
I am just like ooh, and I'm like, there had to have been a lot of like dummies in there, but
yeah, you can see most of them were actual mannequins, and then every so often you had a stunt man because you see the knees buckle as the person would fall forward.
Mm-hmm. Definitely a ridiculous scene.
The shot of the guards falling down in a row took several weeks to prepare, so I'm assuming that was that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought it was funny because definitely reminded me of Domino's.
Wilhelm?
I think the scene where Robin meets Little John, as previously mentioned, the staff fight,
that was
jumping across basically the puddle.
That was a very funny scene.
So I think that's my favorite scene in the movie.
Okay.
Because also the staff fight, even though it's not the same thing, reminds me a little bit of the scene in Monty Python and the Holy Grail with the Black Knight.
Okay.
None shall pass.
I thought Cary Ellis, I mean, he really carried the movie. I mean, he did a great job with it. I mean, I think that was a big part of it that he kept. Absolutely. He was a strong part of the movie. It's like, moving off topic a little bit, the movies that made us, they gave them out season 2, and they talked about Back to the Future was the first one in that one. And so they talked about how the main actor just makes a big difference if you get the right person. When they started out, we talked about it there when we talked about Back to the Future when they started off with the wrong guy, Marty, and they got into a lot more detail on it with this show here. But it just how that having that right person can make or break a movie type of thing.
Yep.
And he was definitely the right person for that. And he did an excellent job, I thought. I mean, he was one of the reasons why I love this movie.
And actually, Roger Rees is the sheriff of Rottingham. Underrated. I thought he did a good job.
He did a great job, yeah.
Yeah, he threw himself into it. It was definitely good. It was a lot of fun to watch him in action. Especially when he get himself all riled up so he wouldn't be able to speak straight.
Oh, I know. I mean, does it say all those things wrong all the time?
I'll say Cary Ellis has a ton of stuff in production and post-production right now.
Wow.
He's been busy lately, huh?
Yeah, something called Bestsellers that came out in 2021. A completed thing called Burning at Both Ends. A Castle for Christmas is in post-production. Untitled Guy Ritchie film is in post-production.
Mm-hmm.
Why Not Choose Love, a Mary Pickford Manifesto is in post-production. The Hyperions is in post-production.
Mm-hmm.
The Gettysburg Address, it's a documentary. I'm definitely not watching that. Mission Impossible 7, he's filming right now.
Really?
And
he's knowing the franchise, huh?
And Butterfly and the Typewriter is in pre-production.
Interesting.
Wow. Yeah,
well, it's nice to see the boy's busy because he's really good. My favorite part was the obligatory musical number.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Especially because Dan and I have some nostalgia when it comes to this particular number.
Oh, yes.
We've performed it for when we were doing the Aquinas Follies back in the day before Tristan was born.
We had to wear our tights.
Yep. We were dressed appropriately for that.
Yes.
And remember when Channel 13 sent Stan Monroe out to
and we got him in tights.
And then he got into the costume and joined us for the number. It was hilarious. We had such a great time.
We ran into Stan Monroe in tights in the Ren Fair.
Yep.
several times. So.
Dan Monroe is just
he's a character, that guy.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Still is. There's amazing toothpick creations there. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I would never have thought about that as a thing to do, but wow. I mean, the stuff he creates is amazing.
And we have gone from Robin Hood to toothpicks.
Well, we're good at that sort of thing.
Yep.
So we would recommend you watch this movie if you've not done so already, or if you have watched it and haven't seen it in a very long time. It's definitely worth sitting down and knocking a couple of hours out of your day to take in some classic Mel Brooks. It was one of his final movies, as we talked about, before he decided to just kind of show up in other people's movies and enjoy retirement. He's now 95 as
95, yeah,
and still making people laugh every chance he gets. So definitely worth the watch. We had a lot of fun with that one, and we hope you get a chance to enjoy it. And if you do, let us know what you thought about it, and share your comments and what you liked and didn't like about it. And we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, it will be wrap up and, of course, our question of the week plus a quick little announcement. It's back. September 25th and 26th of 2021. Flower City Comic-Con. We have guests, we have cosplay, we have seasons in this. Okay, so never mind. It didn't work the way I expected.
With our first take.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes, and all points in between. We hope you guys are having a great day. Absolutely hope you're having a wonderful day. And I know we've been having fun, as we always do. So quick, we're going to jump into announcements. This is it. We're wrapping FC3 Monkey Business up for a few weeks because we're going to go ahead and start diverting our energy into all of the final prep for the Flower City Comic-Con, the 2021 show coming up September 25th and 27th. Or 27th. Oh, my God.
Wow.
You're
ready
25th to the 31st. We're going to have 5 days of merriment. That would be amazing if we could eventually work our way up to being a 5-day convention. That'd be hilariously good fun.
And it's going to be held in San Diego.
There we are. Yes. Oh, let's not invoke that bear. Let's not poke that bear.
It's not.
No, we love you, San Diego. We would never challenge you.
We're just a small fish in a big pond.
Yes. So September 25th and 26th at the Total Sports Experience on Elm Grove Road in Gates, right off of the 531 Expressway. Easy to find. Free parking on a bus route. Find an Uber. There's all sorts of ways to get there. Have a friend drive you. Come join us at the Total Sports Experience in Gates. So in lieu of us in that run-up, where we only have a couple of months left, 2 months today.
Yes.
2 months today. Wow.
Today. We're filming.
As we're recording this. So we were at that 60-day mark. And so we are going to be devoting our time to getting that show together and working on, as Dan said, working on the experience and improving things for you so that you can have the best show possible. With that being said, FC3 Monkey Business will be wrapping up for Season 5. We are done with Season 5. And in October, holy Moses, Season, let's say it together,
6.
Ah.
Oh, brother.
Season 6 of FC3 Monkey Business, episodes, 203 to 497. I don't know what we're going to do with that one. It's going to be amazing. But we're going to kick back and we're going to see, as always, we're going to see what works, what doesn't, and we're going to fine tune it to give you the best podcast experience so you can enjoy your gratuitous nerdity with us as you will every week from here on in.
And if there's anything you want to hear in the new season, let us know.
Absolutely.
They have plenty of time to prep for it.
Yeah,
I know. Seriously, tell us what brings you back to listening to us every week.
Post it on
several of you do.
Email us. Yeah, email us at media@fc3roc.org. I mean, you can email us or just post on our page, and we'd love to hear what you guys think.
It'd be wonderful to hear from you. Absolutely. Give us a little feedback. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. And if you really do like us, if you really want to join the cause, www.patreon.com/FC3ROC. Find us on Patreon. Find James Irish's gaming blog. Find a whole bunch of sponsorship levels and tell us what you think by supporting us and helping us have the resources to do the things that we do every week with our various things that we rely on to get the job done. And we would be grateful and appreciative of your support. So And we love you guys. I mean, you're the reason we've been at this for 5 seasons. We could sit
203 episodes.
203 episodes of Monkey Business, and we keep coming back to keep doing it because we love being around each other. We love having fun together and having these discussions and chatting with each other and finding new people to talk to and new things to talk about. But we do it because we know that you have always enjoyed it. And we know that you have reached out to us in the past and said, "Hey, you guys, I love this comment, or I love this particular podcast, or you guys did, made me laugh here, or you made me think over here." And so we do it for you. So spread the word, introduce us to other friends and family, and let us know, hey, these guys are all right. And we would appreciate that. That would be cool. But we will be back come October, and season 6. So that's going to be a thing. I know, my God, it's going to be amazing. And so with that being said, and that being out there, it is time for one last season 5 question of the week. Daniel-san, do you have your list?
I do.
All right. I am going to ask you for a question number 199.
Oh, that's kind of a weird question.
Okay, then I'm asking you for question. Then I'm going to go to 203 because this is episode 203, so we're going to do question 203.
Okay. What still makes you cringe when you think back on it?
Oh, God.
Just as a note, 199 was what escalated very quickly.
What escalated very...
Comments on the board page, on the board
Oh, my God, yeah.
That escalates very quickly.
Hey, Billy. Billy?
Yes.
There he is. What was that question 203 again?
What still makes you cringe when you think back on it?
What makes me cringe?
Uh-huh.
Oh, let me think. I'm having trouble so far. Nothing immediately comes to mind, although...
And this is a man who worked for Brother Weeze for several years.
That's just okay. Okay, actually, yeah, the day I was let go from iHeartRadio, I guess would be the one because I still remember the day.
Uh-huh.
It was January 13th.
Cringeworthy kind of a moment, huh?
2020, which really got 2020 kicked off in, I guess, the right direction.
That's just,
yeah.
So, yeah, having no idea that it was going to happen, then finding out about 1,000 people across the country who were let go, and I was one of them. And I wound up being interviewed. God, was it Fortune magazine that called? Business Weekly? Someone wound up calling me. Somehow I wound up being one of the headliners of the people let go across the country, where I made a couple national websites.
Well, it's you. I mean, come on. How can they blame you? How can you?
Yeah, I guess. But I'll go with that, being let go from a job I had a long time that I loved. Although, to be honest with you, the new job I have, I really like it. I like the hours.
Good.
I like the pay. I like the people. In fact, now in retrospect, it's sort of criminal how badly iHeartRadio paid me. So maybe that makes me cringe. The pay I worked for at iHeartRadio.
But you did love doing it, though, right? I mean,
I did love doing it.
So it's there's that balance of everything. But it's good that you have a job now that you're happy with, and you love doing
I
it,
like the job, I like the people, I like the pay, I like the benefits now. But yeah, I'll go with a couple different aspects of the iHeartRadio thing. What about you, Christopher?
I'm going to take a more comedic bent. Several years ago, I was unfortunately at a funeral, of all things. That's not the cringeworthy part. But one of the decedent's children, who was at this point, I think in his early, mid 30s, late 30s at this point, but it had always been kind of that questionable. People were like, "Oh, we can do a thing, but somebody keep this guy under wraps as best you can," because he was such a loose cannon. He had some issues, but his personality was very over the top, and he behaved himself for the majority of the ceremony. But then the priest did the one thing that nobody expected, and just before closing everything up, and saying the final whatever, he said, "Does anybody wish to step forward and say anything to add to the list of eulogies about the decedent?" And there was this murmur in the crowd as several people were like, "Oh yeah, no, that'd be cool, that'd be great." But there was this one cadre of immediate family that all looked at him in sheer utter panic as he suddenly sprung to his feet. And he got up, and you could just be like, there was this silent. You could just look at their expressions, and it was like, no. and I was with Erica at the time. We were sitting next to each other, and we just kind of looked at each other like, what's about to happen? What are we witnessing here? And doesn't this guy, apparently he knew this was going to happen, unlike nobody else in the church. This guy knew this was going to happen, as he proceeds to come out with a boombox and starts playing a song, which was very emotional. It was a very R&B flavored song. That was, the singer was lamenting about the passing of somebody very close, and was reaching, just kind of like trying to sing the song to this person. I'm like, okay, all right. But then he starts dancing and lip syncing to it. Okay. And then at one point started singing along with it, and he can't sing.
So it's like me singing kind of thing.
Yes. And so we're watching this moment unfold, and it was really, like out of a Will Ferrell movie. And I just remember kind of just looking around uncomfortably, just looking around a lot, like I'm looking at people who are going to be sharing my pain at the moment. It had been such a lovely ceremony, and we just wanted to get out of the church at this point because everybody's emotions were really high at the moment, as they would be at the end of a funeral. But this happened, and I just remember staring at Erica, and Erica staring at me, and she actually she started to laugh out loud, and she buried herself behind her hands and just kind of started shaking her shoulders. And I just immediately just went into my coat pocket, pulled out some Kleenex and handed them to her, and she started making it look like she was trying to cry. She's like, and she was, that was one of those moments where like, wow, that happened. And I still think it was probably one of the most cringeworthy events that I've ever witnessed.
Like they're seeing like the videos of people who know they're going to die, so they record their voice to have their voice played at the funeral, like from their coffin. Help! Let me out!
Yeah, that Irishman who did that a couple of years ago. I remember that making the video circuit, the video clip circuit.
Help! Let me out!
Let me out of here! Come on, somebody pour me a beer. It's dark in here.
Chris, you just reminded me a story, if I can go back to tell this story.
Sure.
Because it may fit in better than my serious one. I used to work for a local cover band. I used to, on weekends, have some fun with a band that played weddings and anniversary parties and some bars and stuff, called the Boss Street Band. And we were playing a wedding, I think it was, and someone came up to me and said, can the band dedicate a song to Arnold White? So I convey this to the lead singer, and at one point the lead singer goes, we got a song for Arnold White. Where's Arnold White? Well, it turns out they wanted to dedicate it to him because he had passed away.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh, that's right on Seinfeld.
So Arnold White is dead. So, I mean, that was uncomfortable at the moment. But from that point on, we always said if we ever record an album, the name of the album has to be "Where's Arnold White." With the band, look like a couple of them shrugging their shoulders, a couple people like looking off with their hand on their forehead, like they're looking off in the distance.
Yes,
someone looking under in the closet. Where's Arnold White? So,
oh my
that
God.
became our catchphrase. Where's Arnold White is our uncomfortable phrase of the day.
That's amazing.
Wow,
that is amazing. That is definitely wow level stuff right there.
Wow. I don't think I can top any of that.
No, I know. I'm like, I don't know. I can't think of anything specific.
Yeah, me either. I'm like,
I know I've done a lot of things that I've cringed at that I've done, but I can't think of what the specifics are, or I can't think of what I'd want to share. Let me rephrase that potentially. But I've definitely done a lot of things that I cringe at if I ever look back at. But I don't know if I can share any of that. That's how cringy it is.
Yeah, I have not a clue. I've been thinking this entire time.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, no, I got nothing right now.
And that's all right. We love you guys anyway. It's all good. So,
Yeah.
very
Well,
well then. In
They'll
that
have
case,
they'll have time to come up with it to discuss in the cringy panel at Flower City.
Oh, maybe, yeah. No,
cringy things that have happened to us at 11 o'clock at Pound Room 2.
The cringe panel. That'd be our thing. Things to make you go, ooh.
I'm so putting that in now. I so have to make that happen.
I'm going to go on to Grotix right now and do it.
We'll watch a couple of particular guests come in with speaking of things that make you cringe.
None of our current guests. Nope. No.
No.
Like the wrestlers we had at the first show.
Yeah.
Things that make you go, huh?
I'm trying to remember the first show. Okay,
we had Tito Santana, but then we had the Nasty Boys come in.
The Nasty Boys, that was the one.
They were
they lived up to the name, yes.
Yeah, they lived up to the name. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But they were a last minute thing, and yeah, we okay. That does make you cringe a little bit that we did that.
Yeah,
we learned a lot that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's right. They replaced another wrestler had passed away.
No, George Animal Steel was sick.
He was sick at the time. I think he passed away about a year and a half later.
I don't know if it was that long, but he passed away soon after that. Yeah.
Okay.
He was in the hospital.
I remember hearing Nasty Boys stories after the Comic-Con. Brian Knobs and Jerry Sags.
Yeah. All right, my friends. That sounds like we have a show here. So that is a wrap for season 5, my friends, and well done, everybody. Great job. We had some trials and tribulations along the way. We dealt with the pandemic. We came up with new technology so that we could record together, and we had an opportunity to be in the room together a couple of times along the way. That was a lot of fun to see you guys face to face again. So we're going to take these learning experiences, and we're going to move on, and we're going to plan and scheme and plot, and we're going to come back stronger, as we always do.
Yeah,
stronger, more powerful. We can rebuild it. We have the technology
variant,
with a Delta variant of the podcast. It's infectious.
The one thing I love that's come out of the Loki series is all the cosplays that are not necessarily 100% accurate to that particular character. They're now all considered variants.
That's it. It's
and so you know what? Everyone else just shut up.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, I love that. That was awesome. The different variants of Loki. That was great. And yeah, seeing that people are just open up the freedom there. I mean, don't judge people. I mean, anyone who does cosplay, I respect, because it takes time to put this stuff together, and you got to be creative, and some of these people are just amazing. So I mean, I love these variants.
Thor's before Fat Thor.
Yeah.
There you go.
Anyone that takes the time to craft anything, because just recently I got a Cricut maker, and I'm trying to do stuff for FC3 and things like that to do something special for our guests, and weeding the stuff out and figuring out how to get the negative space in there and to do it. It's taking a little bit, and like I was weeding out glittered paper yesterday for the Simi head. And it was very difficult. I don't think I'm using glitter paper for it, but my mom has it. And she's like, I want that one. I'm like, okay, it's my try one. But yeah, so kudos to every crafter out there that everyone else zip it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Everyone else zip it. Until you're doing that, zip it. You have no idea.
That's
there's my 2 cents.
That's very true. That's well said right there.
This public service announcement is brought to you by
Spoilers.
Tanya. All right. Hey, Dan.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, Chris.
Don't make me mad.
Don't make you mad? Yeah, I do that every day. Danny, hit it. Because this has been FC3's Monkey Business, a product of the Mighty Monkey Corporation, purveyors and producers of the Flower City Comic-Con, coming at you September 25th and 26th at the Total Sports Experience in Gates. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, follow us wherever we go, and we will lead you to where the entertainment is you guys have a great week. Have a safe week, and we will talk to you again in a few weeks.
I was going to say, you're going to do next week? No. Dun, dun.
Dun, dun.
Only you. Only you.
No, I was like,
Well, we'll see you, folks.